Hello guy, how ya all doing? Fine I believe. Today we are going to discuss my theory, interpretation of who Spica, previously known as Rui Arneb, one of the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony, which is kinda complicated. I'll explain why at a later point in the video. This video might assume a prerequisite knowledge of up until Arc 8 of RaeNoSekai. So if you are an anime only, I'd advise you to click off the video. With that spoiler warning in place, let's get into the video. Now Spica is a fragment or a split soul OD from the Rui Arneb. As we all know from the RaeNoSekai anime season 4, episode 13. Rui was up until that point in time was doing something weird, which now I understand as she just basically split herself into two and one went into Subaru, which is why he became Newbaru. I'll refer to the amnesia Subaru as Newbaru from on. While Arc 6 was going on, she collected all that experience and by the end actually got traumatized, and this is very important actually because a separate individual. Why is that important and what evidence does the narrative provide in support of such an absurd claim, you ask? Several. Going back to the previous reference, Rui actually mentioned in season 4 episode 13 that the authority of gluttony cannot be used on the same person twice. Which is why she was trying to persuade Newbaru to abandon his old self and become his own self. Separate identity, which is kinda achieved by the end of Arc 6. When Subaru came back with his memories, what happened to Newbaru? The answer is she became what we now call Spica. Even though he was prepared to sacrifice himself, we all know how fickle the heart of humans actually is. And we all Subaru very well, and he is not the type of person who will just up and disappear. The interesting point being around the end of Arc 6, the lane actually has a chapter with an illustration where both the Rui Arneb fight with each other. We don't see the fight, and I think that's the point. When she was shown on screen next, it was as a completely blank slate with no memories, no personalities, no history of her own. I think that is actually a very deliberate decision by the author Tappei Nagatsuki, considering the original or her other self, actual Rui Arneb. Eat now Spica's memories. And like Newbaru, she was forced to restart from zero. But unlike while she was in Subaru's body where she could have relied on Subaru's earth knowledge memories, with her real body self having none of them. She is now a blank slate which received the name Spica from RMC Subaru at a later point in time and her actual personhood crystallized. Or so I believe. But is this interpretation of events bulletproof? No, absolutely not. The reason being, how can Spica still use the witch factor of gluttony? For that question, my answer may be a figment of imagination, but I'll share it here. This is pure speculation on my part, since we already know that the witch factor of gluttony is already shared between 3 individuals. What's stopping from a 4th new individual to pop up? My belief is since Spica was a soul OD fragment of Rui Arneb, it could be possible she could activate and utilize a new kind of authority. Which could be why she ended with star-eating, Xingxi, Seishoku aspect of gluttony, which was actually never seen before. And this could be the reason why, or so I assume, why Subaru never had a gluttony witch factor in the first place. The witch factor with which he walked through that 4th door at the bottom of the Pleiades Watchtower. He was able to walk through that door as Newbaru because a fragment of Rui's soul OD may be witch factor being inside him. When he returned back and Spica become her own person, said witch factor is now with her, which is why star-eating. Does anyone agree with me? Anyways, thank you all for listening to my interpretations of RaeNoSekai events. And I really appreciate every one of you who spent their valuable time watching this video. If you have any interpretations of your own, theories or any such opinions, drop them off in the comments below. I'll try to read them all whenever possible. If you are free, and feel free to check out my other videos. With all that said, you are watching RaeNoSekai and this is me, Rae, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye for now.